In today's video, I'm going to show you how to use the Kinetic Blade in Fortnite. We're going to go over the basics as well as some advanced techniques on how to exploit into people's boxes, not just break the wall, but actually get into the box. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So first things first, when it comes to the Kinetic Blade, unlike the Shockwave Hammer, you can only carry one of them at a time. If you try to carry two of them, it won't allow you to. As you can see here as well, the Kinetic Blade has 3 dashes that you can use with it, as it has the number 3 in the bottom half, and that's what those 3 little colors right next to my crosshair in the middle of my screen, surrounded by the magenta with the sign in the middle, mean. So each time that I dash with this, it will deplete that number until it recharges. It takes 10 seconds every time to recharge, but we might see in the next week to 2 weeks that Fortnite might make this a little bit longer, because that's what they did with the Shockwave Hammer. The Shockwave Hammer was quite OP when it first came out, and then they nerfed it a relative amount, so it wasn't as OP, so people got to have a lot of fun at the start, and then it was a bit more balanced. But this item feels really balanced. You can actually refresh your dashes with this weapon. As you can see here, when I use the dash to go up in the air, and then I pick up another version of this sword, it doesn't refresh it. But if I drop this item and pick up a brand new version, it will give me that amount. So it's as simple as just dropping the one that you currently have in your inventory and then picking up a new one, and then you'll have that amount of dashes back. Do note there's an augment that you can unlock. The more that you play the game, the more that you unlock the augments, that every single time you get a kill, that it will refresh your amount of kinetic dash charges. This item has 2 types of attacks, or 2 types of methods that you can use for it. It has a dash attack and has a slash attack. Universally, this will be your aiming down sights button and then your shooting button. So on keyboard and mouse, right click is your dash attack, which lunges you forward, and then left click is slash, which is a hit. There's 2 basic hits for your knockback slash, and do note this is a knockback effect. So unfortunately you can't hit people multiple times and just destroy them with a sword, but it will push them back. So then you have to pull out a shotgun after, or you have to build a wall and then dash towards them, and then you can start hitting them again. As you can see, that chicken went flying from the knockback slash. Now this item is pretty good for hitting like initial shots on someone, for example, as a little bit of a replacement of a shotgun or an SMG, but the shotguns this season are very good, especially the Havoc pump shotgun and the combat secondarily. I definitely recommend both of those items. So I wouldn't recommend just using this sword instead of a shotgun, but more so if you hit someone first, then you can quickly pull out a gun and do some extra damage, or you can knock someone back and then quickly pull out a gun. In my personal opinion, the best way to use this item is using it for movement or gaining height. So if someone is far above you and you want to get above them, you can dash directly up in the air, get above their builds, and then you can connect to it and build. Now do note there is a little bit of delay of pulling out your builds after using this item. For example, if you slash and then try to pull out your gun right away, it takes a relative amount of time. It's not going to happen instantly. Now you can use this a little bit as an exploit here. For example, if you use the item, you tab into your inventory and then drop it, then you can pull out your gun a lot faster, but this does take some time to learn. So this is a bit similar to how people used to use the Shockwave Hammer, by using it and then quickly putting it away. So those are the main basics for it. So on keyboard and mouse, you can use the dash attack to dash across the air. You have 3 of them, each of them takes 10 seconds to recharge, and then you have the knockback slash effect, which is pretty decent, and it's pretty cool to get some kills like that, and I'm going to use it on this person right here in front of me, so you can have a look of what that is like, because I think it's good to know. So right then, we just use the main attack, and then we use knockback slash. We are going to build here as well. And you can see here, it's not really enough to fully take someone out. But for example, if you want to use it in a fight, say someone's in front of you, like they are in front of me here, and I dash myself up in the air, then it's good to get rotations and get behind someone where they might not know where you are. The dash attack does 60 damage per hit, and the slash attack does 35 damage per hit. It's also important to note that the Kinetic Blade can be used to dash through objects or to break objects. So if I use the dash attack here, you can note it is going to break this item, but it's not going to lunge me through it. And the same can be said to this caravan here. When it comes to builds, it's a different story about the way it works. So if I try to dash through these builds, it is going to break it as well, but say for example if the builds were right in front of me and I try to dash through it, it can break those builds while lunging forward. So it really has to do with proximity and the type of build that's in front of you, whether it's going to break it or not. So say someone's in a box in front of you and you want to exploit into that box. If you simply lunge towards it, you're going to break the box, and then there's that massive delay before you pull out your item. So the person who's in the box is probably just going to build right away, or they're going to shoot you, because they're going to have a few seconds to shoot you. I do have a movement bug at the moment, so do note the movement bug is still currently in the game. But if you ping where you are in the game, you can actually exploit directly into that box. So if you're at the 21 to 23 meter mark in the game, it will actually put you inside of the box for whatever reason. So for example, right now I'm at the 23 meter mark. If I lunge at this box, it will put me right into the box. And that is how you exploit with it. Now this is a lot easier done from lower ranges. So for example, if someone's got height on you and you want to lunge into their box, you're going to have a much more successful time doing it, and you're probably going to end up in the back of their box if you're coming from lower below them. So we're actually going to do this from this back corner over here. So we're going to back off until that 22, 21 meter mark, and then we're just going to slash attack towards the top section. And you see that launched me forward all the way towards the back of it. So it's a lot better to do that there. So in order to exploit into someone's box, you want to be in that 20 to 23 meter mark. If you're at the 25 meter mark, it won't do any damage to the wall, because that is the max distance you can travel for doing damage. It's not the max distance you can travel with it. If you're at that 23 meter mark, it will exploit you inside. 24 meter mark will just break the wall and drop you at the front. And 19 meter mark will just break the wall and drop you at the front as well. So doing it from low ground as well will drop you into the back of their box, for example, as we'll do that again here. Which is better for getting behind someone and then hitting a shotgun shot on them. This last exploit that I'm going to show you is from doing a dash attack mid-air. First thing you want to do is dash attack in the air, and then when you're falling, you're in about that 22 meter mark. You can dash downwards and end up right in their box behind them. This one's a lot better in my opinion because it's more shocking to the person and they won't realize you're there. When you dash directly up in the air, it takes you approximately 25 meters right above the point of where you are. So if you get this timing right, a few seconds after you hit that initial dash, you gotta wait those few extra seconds. You're at the 25 meter mark, you'll be in the 22 to 23 meter mark, you can dash downwards. The easier way to do this is ping the top of the box before you go in. What you want to then do is make sure you have your two dashes. You want to dash up in the air, wait till it says that 23 meter mark, and then dash downwards, and you'll dash into their box or you'll break the entire thing. When it comes into how to use the sword in zero build mode of Fortnite, you want to use it very similar to the shockwave hammer. You always want to have those two reserved dashes. So if someone pushes you, you can quickly get away and then go heal or get better positional advantage. So you only want to use the one for rotation and then the two for rotation in circumstances right after a kill or when someone's pushing you and you get weak. So there's my guide on how to use the Kinetic Blade. Make sure you subscribe down below for more Fortnite. Like the video, it's helped you out in any shape or form, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.